Good afternoon. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to today's Spotlight Speaker Series. By the way, we'll have Spotlight Speaker Series every day of the conference. Tomorrow we'll have, for example, Gary White from water.org will be here in a fireside chat with Don Loria. Wednesday we'll have a community resilience panel based on WASH in the United States. And Thursday we will have a very interesting panel around Helene response. This is the hurricane that hit North Carolina and has caused a lot of damage. But we're very pleased today to welcome Shri Secretary Meena, who's with us. Secretary Meena is an accomplished Indian civil servant with over 30 years of experience in public service and administration, currently serving as Secretary, Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India, where he leads national transformational programming, including the Swachh Bharat Mission Grameen and the Jal Jeevan Mission, the Water for All mission, aimed at ensuring universal access to safe drinking water and improved sanitation in rural India. He's had a long and very distinguished career in public service in India, including serving in roles with defense, personnel and training, commerce, water resources, secondary and higher education, where he's played pivotal roles in policy formation, program implementation, institutional strengthening at the national level. Shri Meena has a strong academic background with a bachelor's degree in computer sciences and engineering from IIT Kanpur, where we have some strong collaborations. A master's in economics for Annamalai University, and a master's in international development policy and public finance just down the road at Duke University, which we're not happy about. We'd prefer if he had come to UNC Chapel Hill, but nevertheless, we will welcome him. Shri Secretary Meena, you're most welcome to the podium.
Thank you, Joe, and good afternoon to everyone. I think just after the lunch session seems to be thin, but nevertheless, I think I'll take this opportunity. First of all, let me thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity of sharing what we are trying to do for WASH sector in India. As you know, the population of India being so large, so anything which needs to be done has to be done at scale, and the result, if it is seen in numbers, will always be very, very big. So I'll just show a small little video to give you a context of a small village as to how villages have changed in last 1 decade.
Oh my girl, now that you are here, I'm better.
Wow, Dadaji, is this really our village? When I was just 8 years old and first came to this village, none of this was here. Everything looked so different back then. Now it's so clean and so beautiful.
Time is changing, my girl. Clean streets, clean tap water in every house, and the whole village shining. And most importantly, we have good health now.
But Dadaji, how did all this happen? And so fast? Dadaji, please tell me more.
It's not an ordinary story. It's a WASH story of India. Come, let me tell you how it all began.
In the villages of India, dreams are now taking flight. Under the guidance of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, the nation set forth on the path of cleanliness, leaving footprints of change across the country. In 2014, Honorable Prime Minister launched the biggest people's movement to change the behavior towards cleanliness and to end open defecation. In 2020, the Swachh Bharat Mission Phase 2 was launched.
WHO के मुताबिक 2014 और 2019 के बीच 3 लाख जीवन बचे हैं जो डायरिया के कारण हम खो देते थे। मानव सेवा का ये धर्म बन गया साथियों। यूनिसेफ की रिपोर्ट है कि घर में टॉयलेट बनने के कारण अब 90% से ज्यादा महिलाएं खुद को सुरक्षित महसूस कर रही है। महिलाओं को इन्फेक्शन से होने वाली बीमारियों में भी स्वच्छ भारत मिशन की वजह से बहुत कमी आई है।
Cleanliness has become not just our habit, our strength as well. Along with this, to end drudgery of women, young girls, and to provide clean tap water in every rural household, Honorable PM launched Jal Jeevan Mission, the water for all, in 2019. Tap water is reaching every home, bringing health, dignity, and comfort to millions.
साथियों, हमारी माताओं बहनों को पानी के लिए भी बहुत सारी मुश्किलें होती थी। इसके लिए हमने हर घर नल से जल स्कीम शुरू की। बीते सालों में 15 करोड़ से अधिक देशवासियों को नल से जल की सुविधा मिल चुकी है।
Today, India's villages are not just clean and water secured, they are alive with hope and prosperity. Community participation is at the heart of India's transformation in water, sanitation and hygiene. The Water for All and Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin government programs have become people's movements or Jan Andolan. Through unwavering determination, Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin achieved a milestone in 2019. What the world had set for 2030 under SDG Sub-Goal 6's Sub-Goal 6.2, end open defecation 11 years ahead of time. This is not just a story of toilets and taps. It is a transformation of rural India as the tricolor rises over a cleaner, greener India. The message of Swachhata Hi Seva echoes across the world, inspiring nations, empowering people and lighting the path towards Viksit Bharat.
Oh wow, Dadaji, that was a whole lot of story of change.
Yes, my girl. Now clean water is flowing from tap and every village is being self-sustained. This is the true promise of our land. Promise of India to the world.
So thank you very much. Just to set the context, I wanted to show a transformation taking place in the villages. I would also like to place on record that my department deals with the rural India, and these two programs which I'll be talking about to you is about the rural communities, not the urban cities. So what you see in Bombay and Delhi is not handled by my department. There is other department which handles these issues. So today, friends, I would like to share how this transformation has been achieved in last 11 years' time. So just to set another context, if we look at the planetary boundaries that the planet is suffering from, out of the 9 boundaries, 7 boundaries are almost being transgressed. The last one being ocean acidification, which is caused by CO2. That also is getting breached in the year 2025. So our planet is suffering from lot of resource overuse, and these 9 planetary boundaries are being monitored by Stockholm Resilience Center. So, dear friends, we need to actually work on ensuring that resource use is as minimized as possible. Similarly, at the international level, goals have been set up for the humanity. goal 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3. These are the important goals where humanity wants to achieve, that every human being is provided access to sanitation and safe drinking water. India's rural sanitation journey, if we take it from after independence, real work actually has always been there on the radar, but the availability of resources, the level of development being there, we were taking very tentative steps till 2014. We had Central Rural Sanitation Program way back in '86. Total Sanitation Campaign was also launched in 1999. Then Nirmal Bharat Abhiyan was launched across the country. But real change happened in 2014 when present Prime Minister, just after taking over from the Red Fort, he announced that sanitation will be his one of the main priority, and Swachh Bharat Mission Abhiyan was launched. This was for rural area also as well as urban area. And this program initially tried to address open defecation taking place in the country. So this was formulated as a behavior change program for the entire country, where open defecation was actually a habit. I'll show you the figures. Almost 39% of the country had access to toilet. In 2019, when we finished the mission period, almost 100% of the households had access to toilet. So this is the kind of transformation which did take place through construction of 100 million individual toilets, 6 lakh villages. The local committees declared themselves as open defecation free village. SDG 6.2 was thereby achieved. What SBMG did differently was that they recognized the scale which needed to be achieved, the speed, that 5 years only was given for completion of the project. It also tried to talk to the people about stigma, targeted age-old beliefs through extensive communication, and sustainability, ensuring that people don't fall back into the old habits. So this required a lot of effort from the academic institutions, lot of research inputs were also taken, and extensive information, education and communication strategy was drawn up. So this resulted, the impact of the SBM Grameen till 2019 has been studied now by WHO, UNICEF, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and everyone has acknowledged it as a good model in which the toilets can be constructed with the community participation, and open defecation practice could be avoided. After 2019-20, then Prime Minister said that we need to set our bar a little higher. Having achieved the open defecation free status in village, you need to maintain that status continuously. So sustainability of that effort becomes very important for us. And in addition, he added 2 more things, that liquid waste and the solid waste which is getting generated in the villages also needs to be highlighted. And the IEC activity and the IEC messaging and behavior change campaign which was taken up should also be continued. And that is how the next phase of the Swachh Bharat Mission Grameen was introduced. Here the villages declare themselves not only open defecation free, but open defecation free plus model, in which liquid waste management, solid waste management and IEC activities are also displayed in the villages. What has been the achievement till now? The villages, only 2.4% of our rural villages were ODF plus model villages when we started in 2022 during the time of COVID. Now we have a real-time dashboard which monitors this progress on a daily basis. Till 24th of October 2025, 82.3% of the villages have declared themselves as ODF plus model villages. That means that they are sustaining the open defecation free status of the village. They are practicing some amount of solid waste management practice, some amount of liquid waste management practice, and the IC activities are still continuing. So the model, as I narrated, it required sustained behavior change for the safe sanitation. It cannot happen over 5 years of time. It takes generations. So the schools also, school curriculum, teaching in the school, etc., also encompasses the sanitation practices, water and sanitation practices. We are identifying the people gaps in implementation and trying to address those gaps. Community toilets are being provided where population is floating, so that migrant population is also practicing the safe sanitation practices. For solid and liquid waste management, we are advocating the local solutions at the household level as much as possible. Plastic waste management, which is becoming a big issue in the rural areas where plastic is getting generated, that also is getting addressed right now. Grey water management, because Jal Jeevan Mission is providing additional water to the houses, so the used water has to be taken care at the household level. That also is becoming an important aspect for us. And having constructed the toilets, if the toilets were not of a good quality, then fecal sludge management becomes a bigger issue for us. So that is receiving our attention. The preferred option for all our interventions as far as waste management is concerned is that you must have a circularity established at the household level, so that waste getting generated at the household, if we can manage it at that place, then it will reduce the total resource usage for the planet. So fecal sludge, twin pit toilet should be are being constructed. Grey water, soak pits and the kitchen gardens are being promoted so that the used water gets utilized within the villages. Organic waste, we are encouraging people to use the compost pits and feed it to the cattle as much as possible. Now, at the community level, we still will need to provide some solutions. For example, for fecal sludge, if the septic tanks are there, they need to be desludged. So mechanical desludging and treatment plants are being provided at cluster level. So number of villages coming together, we provide treatment plants for the STPs. Grey water management, again, community level soak pits and waste stabilization ponds are being encouraged. Organic waste, as I said, is being used mostly at the household level, but if the organic waste is too large, then we are constructing the biogas plants, or compressed biogas plants are also being constructed. Plastic waste is getting collected, separated, and is being used as much as possible in construction of roads or cement plants as a fuel. So, while we are doing all these things, the whole organization is being centered through the local self-government. So we have a lowest level of governance in India, which is called the Panchayati Raj, which are Gram Panchayats. Number of villages come together to form a small Gram Panchayat, just like counties in the US, you have the Gram Panchayats in India. So we have central government in Delhi, we have provincial governments at the states, so almost 34 states and union territories are there. And then below the provincial level, we have the local self-government, which is Gram Panchayat. So almost all of the wash related activities, we are wanting to do it through the decentralized mechanism of the local self-government. So planning must be done at the village level by the Gram Panchayat. They have been delegated with authority. Then they themselves prepare the village action plans. And then these village action plans of water and sanitation get funded by the government, central government partly, provincial government partly, and the local resources generated by the Gram Panchayat. So within the Gram Panchayat, then we have something called Village Water Sanitation Committee of the people who have been elected there, in which 50% of the women have been told to be the member of these village water sanitation committees. And this is a model which we are trying consciously so that local people get involved with the wash activities at the village level. Because at the end of the day, wash services are for the local people, and if they themselves become aware to manage them, then sustainability of the whole effort will be better. So in these committees, representatives from various sections of village are included. They motivate and mobilize the community. They implement and supervise the projects. So they are allowed to open a bank account in which the government resources also are provided. And these resources are actually utilized by this village water sanitation committee to provide the solutions to themselves. Women are emerging as a leading force for this rural sanitation change. You can see that we are training the women to work as the woman mason to construct the toilets at the local level. Women self-help groups. Women in villages are being organized into small groups, and these small groups typically take up some enterprising activities, productive activities for generating some resources for themselves. So some of the activities which these groups take up, if this activity like sanitation is interested to them, then they also will do the street cleaning, for example, for which they will get the funds from the Gram Panchayat. So this is the way in which we are trying to develop micro enterprises through the local people's involvement. Swachhagrahis basically are volunteers. So volunteers, youth volunteers are being mobilized for rural sanitation work. So ultimately, we need to make sanitation everybody's business. If it is not everybody's business, it is not going to be sustainable. So whole of government approach in which all the departments of government of India are working together. See, if you look at the resources of my department only, probably these resources will not be sufficient to carry out all the activities. So what we have done is that various other departments, when they carry out the activities in village, those village activities should also be seen from the lens of wash, water and sanitation and hygiene. Once you start looking in their budget also from the lens of the water and sanitation, then you find that their resources also can be mobilized for carrying out these activities. So behind implementation of this thing, while we get things implemented by the local people at the local level, but we have a technologically assisted platform which monitors almost on the real-time basis any activity which a village is taking up in the village areas. That has to be put up on an IT platform which is used by the villagers themselves. But as you all know that all IT platforms are now working on the cloud services. So all the data of every village is available at the central level in our dashboard. So in essence, what has happened is you have provided a technical solution in a village to carry out their own activity. But at the back end, when the data is available to you, you are able to monitor the entire country as to how the implementation is progressing. So you can see the SBM Grameen 2.0 dashboard. Dashboard shows the real-time picture in terms of how many villages have been self-certified, what activities they have completed, and what is the net addition every day is also shown on the dashboard. The details of these websites and the documents are available here. I'll also give you the QR code as well as the website addresses, so you can actually go and see the entire thing. The beauty of the whole dashboard is that this is data entry and everything is done at the lowest level by the villagers themselves for monitoring their own activities. Whereas at our level, we get the data at the back end to keep a close watch on the implementation. Now coming to the next intervention, which we started with the sanitation in 2014, but by the time 2019 we finished the toilet construction, we realized that lot of places people are demanding that water is not available, so sanitation practices are not being followed appropriately. So there was a need to provide water to each household. So the Honorable Prime Minister at that point of time asked as to what is your parameter for providing water to the households. To his surprise, the practice till that point of time was to provide just one safe drinking water source to a habitation and treat that as if you have provided water to every household in those areas. But in 2019, he decided that we need to provide water connection to every household, and that is how Jal Jeevan Mission was launched. So even drinking water journey, if you look at the entire thing, we started with villages having safe water sources, then contaminant issues were there, so therefore different schemes were launched. But the comprehensive scheme which was launched with a huge amount of funding was Jal Jeevan Mission in 2019. Here the unit of coverage changed from the habitation to the household. The sustainability of the schemes and drinking water source sustainability became a critical issue for us. We also defined the standards, at what standard we will provide the water to each household. It became 55 liters per capita per day in the rural areas. In urban areas, India has the norm of 135 liters per capita per day. But in rural areas, we thought that drinking water, because it will be a treated water and contaminant free, so 55 liters per capita should also be fine, and rural people will take care of other requirement from the non-safe sources. We also defined the water quality standard, which is nothing but IS 10500, BIS 10500 standard. It's actually copy of the international standard which India has adopted. And then regular supply to each household was to be ensured. It was also envisaged that this asset will also be provided to the community, because if the public health engineering department from every department goes to the villages and runs these schemes, that is not possible, because we have 600,000 villages, almost more than 500,000 villages, and 500,000 public health engineering department officers will not be available. So therefore community ownership and skilling of the local community became an important aspect here. And focus shifted to the service delivery, not only creation of the infrastructure. So pre-JJM, we had actually a asset creation kind of mentality, but now it became a service delivery oriented approach. From department-led engineering, we shifted to the local self-government and community-owned construction approach. Preventive maintenance was also emphasized. Corrective maintenance before the system becomes dysfunctional, you should take the steps before it starts. That also was emphasized. And post JJM, we are now trying that the local community should not only own, but also should levy user charges and run it proficiently. So as I was saying, 3 levels are there. National level, we have the National Jal Jeevan Mission, which is housed in my department. We have state water sanitation missions at the provincial government level. Then district government level, we have collectors of the districts, which head the district water sanitation mission. And at the lowest level, the Gram Panchayats, which are elected bodies, have to ensure that village water sanitation committee and everybody takes charge of the water supply scheme in their village. So implementation perspective, India was in a good position to utilize the technology. So therefore you would see that Aadhaar unique ID which was available to us was utilized. Water quality management information system, where water quality becomes important, so you need to teach the people as to how various parameters of the water quality will be measured, and women who are not even literate have been trained to actually measure the water quality. While we constructed these assets, third-party inspection became very important for us because our own department was not sufficient to go out to all the villages. Regular functionality assessment was being done in addition to the JJM dashboard, which gives the inputs on a continuous basis. We also have team of experts going and visiting villages randomly to see that the quality of the work being done is appropriate or not. As I said, in case of SBM, similarly here in case of Jal Jeevan Mission also, the local community is entering the data in terms of whatever work is happening or whatever quality is being tested in their village, and providing it in a platform which can be used by the villagers themselves. And at our level, we are able to monitor at the national level on the dashboards. These dashboards are also customized, so Gram Panchayat can actually see what is happening in their own area. The district can see in what is happening in their district, and at the national level we are able to see what progress is being made. We are going to the next stage now, where all assets are getting geotagged and are being computerized through a geographic information system, where the network of pipelines in the entire country will be visible. So these are the same things. People's participation and model of management is what we are insisting in Jal Jeevan Mission. As the Honorable Prime Minister says, that Jan Vishwas, the confidence of the local community, is what will make this whole program successful. So therefore, we have to take care that the Gram Panchayats and the village water sanitation committees not only own these assets, but own and operate and collect the user charges from the villagers to run them efficiently. So what has been the achievement so far? When we started 15th of August 2019, only 16% of the rural households had water connection. As on October 2025 now, little more than 81% of the rural households now have the water connection in their houses. Almost 157 million households have been provided a water connection in their houses. So this is addition of 124.8 million new connections in a short span of less than 6 years. So when you compare these numbers with the population of other countries, I think I need not belabor the argument here. So when this program was being implemented, we also thought that all schools and Anganwadis, which are the preschools, there also we need to provide not only the toilets but also the hand washing facilities and the clean drinking water. So more than 1 million schools and more than a million daycare centers now are having the water connections. Most important aspect of this entire program was that water was always available. Since the people have been staying in those villages, they must be drinking water from some source or the other. So the most important aspect of this program was to ensure that they get a potable quality of water. And how do you ensure the potable quality of water? Until and unless you have a water quality surveillance, which is also run by the community, then only water quality can be ensured. Otherwise, the community was never, neither the awareness was there, nor the sufficient amount of testing equipment was there in the villages. So water quality surveillance became a big issue for us, and we monitored each and every village to ensure that arsenic and fluoride contamination habitations are provided with purification plants. network of almost 2,800 laboratories was set up across the country, where all the parameters of the water, drinking water, can be measured. Apart from that, almost 2.48 million women were trained who can actually use a field testing kit. So field testing kits have been designed, and these women have been trained to take the water from the water tap and conduct a simple test. And that test result has to be uploaded on the water quality management information system. This is for their own consumption. But since this data is available, at the national level, we are also able to get the water quality surveillance data. More than 3 million water samples have been tested by trained women using the field testing kits. This is also inculcating a mentality of checking what kind of water is going into the human body. Previous to that, whatever water was available, people were consuming that, and then they were getting affected through diarrhea and all kind of health impacts. So this initiative in itself is also generating lot of awareness about the quality of water which is suitable for human body. These field testing kits are also being taken to the schools so that the students conduct these tests and they also know about the water quality parameters. Dear friends, while this program is being implemented, technology again became a very able assistant to us. As I said, we provided the technological platform to the villagers, and they started using, and the data was fed at the village level. So it gets reflected on the Gram Panchayat level dashboard. If you look, I think, this is the kind of dashboard which a villager or the Gram Panchayat can actually see. How many households are there, whether they have been provided with connections or not, what is the present situation, whether the village is Har Ghar Jal status, means whether the villagers have accepted that everybody has got the house connection or not. Because this certification also, we are not depending on the government staff. We are saying that the village community has to conduct a meeting, and they themselves have to self-certify that that every household has been provided water with. What kind of schemes have been implemented, total number of, how is the community engagement taking place in that village. So this is the dashboard of the village. Now, I think, yeah. District level, district is a unit where administrative level district collectors take care of the area and various aspects. So at the district level, collectors also have been provided a monitoring dashboard, collecting all the information within their jurisdiction. So they can monitor it at their level. Excuse me, I think I just pressed the wrong button. So similar dashboards exist at the district level, state level, and the national level also. We have a dashboard on real-time basis. We can see what exactly is the situation and what is the level of achievement. Similarly, recently now we have introduced a citizen participation portal where even citizens have been provided a portal where they can see every activity happening within their own village. So technology is becoming a very important part of our whole management thing. So as I said, geographic information system is being now deployed across the country. Even for the villagers, they can see what is the kind of assets which are getting created. Various levels in the layers in the GIS map are being populated, and they will be able to see the entire pipe network in their own villages. So idea is that we need to empower the local community in terms of what is happening in their own village with the by the use of the information technology tools, GIS tools. Here is one map which I am trying to show from a particular village where water quality has been tested, and there are 2 villages where water quality was not found appropriate. So now this trigger goes to the government department that water quality is not of appropriate level, so you have to take a remedial measures. This impact of JJM also has been studied now. The work is still in progress. 81% achievement has been done. So we have to actually finish the work as early as possible and then take it into a sustainability mode where operation and maintenance is truly owned by the community and maintained by them. So, dear friends, there are many challenges going forward. We need to think about the sustainability and saturation of all the villages in terms of the ODF as far as sanitation is concerned, in terms of providing water. Also, we have certain villages which are left out, so those villages have to be provided the connections. Then operation and maintenance is a critical issue. So though I said that we have involved the community, but it is still a work in progress. The community village water sanitation committees are still getting trained. They need to ensure that they have the technical know-how to maintain these systems. So our departments are trying to provide this training, and the oversight of the community need to increase going forward. Circularity and end treatment, we are ensuring that village level circularity has to be established as much as possible in terms of usage of resources, in terms of waste management. Everything has to be done as local as possible. Water sustainability will become a big issue because water stress is being observed wherever the sources are based on the groundwater. Groundwater levels are going down, so groundwater level monitoring aspects are also going to be implemented through the community participation. What we are planning in the next phase is that water budgeting of the hydrological cycle at the Gram Panchayat level should also be inculcated. So that probably will take care of the water sustainability issues. So that would require strong capacity building and the information, education and communication strategy going forward. These are the references. I'll leave it for you, all of you. So just to sum up, dear friends, I would just like to say a couple of things at the end, that these 2 programs succeeded in India because of one, strong political leadership and their commitment in terms of providing the resources. That is number 1. Number 2, the important thing which has been recognized in India is that these 2 programs will succeed only when people get involved. And people's involvement is not only namesake, they have to be involved in terms of governance of these assets for operation and maintenance at the lowest level, and therefore village water sanitation committees under the Gram Panchayat, which is the local self-government structure in India, has to become active, and they will have to take the lead role in maintaining these assets. Now they are being encouraged to collect the user charges for maintenance of these services, but we all know that rural India, they won't have that much of paying capacity to get the user fee equivalent to the operation and maintenance charges. So therefore, lot of funds will flow from the provincial government and the central government, which have to be utilized for operation and maintenance of these assets. Assets, of course, asset creation is being funded completely by the union government and the provincial government, but asset operation and maintenance needs to be done locally by local self-government. They will not have enough resources, so those resources need to be supplemented by the union government and the provincial government. And that mechanism has been worked out through something called finance commission grants that we have in India, where resource disparity between three levels of government is actually addressed through way of devolution of the funds from the central government to provincial government and provincial government to the local self-government level. So those resources will also be utilized. And hope is that when the community takes over these assets, maintains it for their own benefit, then sustainability will be higher. As far as the making the whole, both the programs, people's movement is concerned, our strategy is to highlight the impact in absence of wash services, what will happen to the people. And that is creating a good amount of acceptance in the rural areas, and we are able to make some dent in terms of providing these services and making it a default option in most of the villages. So almost around 81% of the villages now we have provided drinking water. Almost 82% of the villages are becoming ODF plus model villages, but a lot remains to be done in terms of institutionalizing the operation and maintenance and making it sustainable going forward. I hope that in coming 3 to 4 years' time, we would be in a position to ensure that sustainability of wash services in each and every rural village of India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Oh, this is loud. Thank you so much. And I invite everyone in the room, if you have questions, to come up and use this central microphone. So if anybody has any questions, please, you can come up. I just wanted to ask by starting out. So I'm sorry, Bruce wins the race. So I wanted to ask about, you mentioned that there are user fees, people are paying tariffs, but that may not cover the total cost of supplying this infrastructure. What is the process that is gone through to set those tariffs? And sort of how does that look now versus how it might look in the future?
See, I think collecting any tax is a difficult issue in a democratic country. So if the user fee is posited as a tax, probably it will not work. So therefore, central government is not laying down any level of user fee. What central government is asking is that state governments must empower the local self-government to levy user charges as much as they can afford at their level. So the decision of user charges has been left to the local self-government. That is the our 73rd amendment to the Constitution provides that kind of delegation of powers. So what we are trying to do is encourage the local self-government to levy their own user charges. Now, we also know that the paying capacity is not available in most of the rural villages. So our estimate is that only 1/3 of the total O&M cost only. Capital cost they cannot bear at all. So that is already subsidized. Completely funded by the central and provincial government, but the O&M cost only 33%. 1/3 of the cost they can meet from user charges. 2/3 will still need to come from somewhere. Now that amount of money will come from, there are 3-4 sources from where they can meet this funding gap of operation and maintenance. This will happen if the Gram Panchayat has other assets from which they are collecting user charges that they can use at the local level, or the state government and the central government have resources which they transfer. They are legally bound to transfer to the local self-government because taxation ability of the local self-government is very low. So higher taxation authorities like federal government and the provincial government, both are obligated to transfer certain portion of their revenues to the local self-government. In those revenue transfer, we are saying that a part of that transfer will be tied to the operation and maintenance of wash assets. So wash assets will get the first priority while this revenue which flows to them is utilized by them. So that is the way we are trying to address. But you are absolutely right, levying user charges is a difficult subject. So recently we conducted a survey in the entire country and found around almost 46% of the Gram Panchayats in the entire country. And mostly in the southern part of our country, Gram Panchayats have started levying the user charges, but northern part of the country and much poorer part of India, user charges are yet to be implemented.
Thank you very much. Once again, I think it's fair enough to say very big congratulations for India to have the achievement of this global success. And everybody across the world is talking about India and then the achievement you guys have already made in the sector. I'm Abara from the Ministry of Water and Energy of Ethiopia, and we have been learning a lot from India, including the clean Indian strategies and many more. So my question to you is, just taking into account of the context in Ethiopia, this is the result of bold decisions and determinations of the central government of India. And I was thinking, being as a government employee, how does the government come up with this decision with the context that there are very competitive, priorities in the government ministries? It's not, only the wash sector. We have agriculture, we have, industries, we have a lot, health, education, many. So how does you guys came up with this very, very, very bold decisions? Living, in terms of securing the resources, while there are many more competitive priorities for the people of India is now leading the global population, right? Ahead of China even. And you guys have made, these big achievements. So I want to, hear and learn about how this was decided and prioritized by your government. Thank you.
So first of all, let me say that it is still a work in progress. So India has not completely achieved all that we wanted to achieve. So it is still a work in progress. Huge amount of progress has been made. 81% is a good number. So having said that, to answer your question, I think there are 2-3 things which have happened in India. We always used to wonder why our human development index is so low. And if human development index is low, then if population's level is level of development in terms of health, education and other aspects is so low, then how can we aspire to be a developed country? That is the thing where we started with. So you need to improve the human development indices of the country. And when you study that, you find that the first 5 years of a baby's life are the most important life. When it grows up, what happens to it, those are the most important aspects. At that point of time, it needs nutrition, clean, safe environment and clean water. These 3-4 things, along with the education, if they are taken care of, the human development index will improve. So this was the theory, but our leadership, Honorable Prime Minister, he comes from Gujarat. So in Gujarat, traditionally, Mahatma Gandhi also was from the same state, and he always used to talk about the sanitary practices in the villages and Swachhata in general. So he was coming from that background, that sanitation, Swachhata is important. So he came in 2014, he decided that if sanitation is so important for Human Development Index, then sanitation is first thing which I'll tackle. And he was also I would say that not very happy to see that open defecation was taking place in the entire country, causing immense amount of health issues across the country. So open defecation thing has to be addressed at my level, and I will lead it by example. So from the time when he got elected in 2014, first speech, Independence Day speech, he said that India will become open defecation free country. Every using the toilets will become the national habit. So it has to be a campaign. Campaign will be run by the all union ministers. So it was basically led by example by the Prime Minister, having considered what are the implications of the WAS services in rural areas and urban areas both. So I would say that India was fortunate to have the enlightened leadership which understood that this needs to get the due attention. And it was not a program actually of the bureaucratic officers. It was always a program to be led by the elected leadership at the national level, and he mobilized all elected representatives at the provincial level, at the village level. So once you get the elected representatives into the loop, and they have to demonstrate every month or every year for 15 days, we actually conduct one campaign that every village has to become clean, and this is being continued for last 11 years, and Prime Minister participates there. It's called Swachhata Hi Seva. Now, if the that much of leadership's involvement is there, and they have to get elected every 5 years, so they have to answer also that you did make an effort to get the village clean, but nothing has happened on the field. So therefore, they started pressurizing the government machinery to deliver on the promise, elected representatives' promise. And that is how we have come up to this stage. Even now, the situation is not that everything has been achieved. A lot still needs to be done, and the leadership realizes that while we are talking about a good achievement having been done, but lot needs to be done, and we need to involve the local gram panchayats as much as possible. Now, only involvement will not happen, will not be sufficient. So therefore, the next stage would be to strengthen the local self-government at the gram panchayat level. Now, at gram panchayat level, unlike in the developed countries, our union government has sufficient resources, provincial government also has sufficient resources and manpower, but local governments don't have manpower, no financial resources are there. So manpower needs to be created at the local government level also, apart from the funds. So funds, functions and functionaries, all three things, when they happen, then only probably we'll be able to ensure sustainable operation and maintenance of WAS services in villages. So I would just sum up that it was basically an enlightened leadership which took the call that sanitation and water will be provided to every household. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Meena. It's interesting, you just had an exchange with my colleague from Ethiopia, and I'm just wondering, is there interest from other countries? Have countries been approaching India to learn lessons? And if so, you know, and this was about political leadership, but there's so many things that have been done, right? Like deep dives into dashboards, monitoring, financing. If so, is there any specific questions that are being asked of you? Are you able to do twinning experiences? I'm just wondering how this experience of India can be shared.
Yeah, I get your point. I think a lot of countries of South actually have started asking as to how India has done this. And I am very happy to share not only the experiences here, but we have started getting the delegations from other countries. We actually hold training programs for the elected representatives as well as the other officials from the countries of South in India, and try to tell them exactly how things have been done, and take them to the field visit also for village visits. So particularly when G20 was taking place, at that point of time, Honorable Prime Minister said that if we achieve our goal properly, then we need to share our expertise and experience with people who are yet to achieve the international goals. So when we talk about the sustainability development goals, sustainable development goals, SDG, the entire planet has to achieve the goals. So I'll be very happy personally also to share the expertise with any country which wants to know about it. India has been lucky on two fronts. One is the leadership. The second one is the technological advancement which is taking place. Information technology, India was fortunate to take advantage of in terms of providing outsourcing services to Western world, and that created, the ability to monitor its own program implementation. This, when you combine it with the ecosystem of individual ID, which is called Aadhaar, which is based on the technology completely. So technology platform has every Indian's ID is available on the technology platform. Every even illiterate vendor on the roadside is using the electronic payment now through their mobile phone. Mobile penetration in the country is extremely high. So these three things, mobile, then everybody having a bank account, then everybody having his own identity. These three things are called GEM Trinity. This was leveraged effectively in monitoring these programs through the community themselves. So this was another advantage. So leadership, the use of technology, going forward probably will enable all of us to achieve the global goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Secretary. I also was going to ask about lessons for other countries who are interested to learn from and try to replicate some of the successes that India has seen. But since the last two questions were focused on that, let me ask you something a little bit more focused. I think it's been very interesting to see over the past 10, 11 years how the focus of the programs have evolved.
Yes.
So you mentioned earlier, after achieving ODF, the goal shifted to ODF+.
Yes.
Now you're trying to bring water 55 liters per day to rural households. And I'm sure that when those households get piped water and more water in the household, they're going to switch from twin pit latrines, which were the major focus of the earlier phases, to having flush toilets.
Yes.
And how do you see the sanitation side evolving to catch up as you make advances on the water supply side with more water at the household level, especially in rural areas?
Yeah, I think you preempted the question, but this is exactly what we have been discussing in the country, that what will be the shape of new rural sanitation policy in our country. Once SBM phase 2 is also over next year, we need to actually rethink in terms of what will be the rural sanitation policy for the country. Emerging issues like plastic waste management will become a bigger issue. Fecal sludge management will become an absolutely important issue. Menstrual hygiene will become a bigger issue for us in rural areas. So we are trying to work out various models through which we will be addressing all these three issues: plastics waste, the fecal sludge management, menstrual hygiene in the rural areas. Now, these can be addressed by technical solutions, but our intention is to utilize the self-help groups and the enterprises, micro enterprises in the villages to start providing these services on payment basis. Now, these payments will, of course, not meet the entire cost of providing those services. So, it will be a combination of a little bit of user charges and little bit of the government support. So, that kind of model is being worked out, in which, for example, if you have a septic tank, then desludging is required. So, a mechanical vehicle will come, but this will be operated by a private person. He will need the money to run that vehicle. So, he will charge some amount of fee which is fixed by the local self-government, but rest of the money will be provided by the local self-government through the resources which are flowing from the central government and provincial government. So that is the kind of model we are debating. Contours will emerge in next couple of 1 year's time, because I have to now plan for the rural sanitation policy from 27 onwards. So till 26 March, this SBM phase 2 will continue. After that, rural sanitation policy will also evolve. So same is the case with the Jal Jeevan Mission. Jal Jeevan Mission needs to be completed, and operation and maintenance phase has to be transferred to the local self-government, and they have to run it appropriately on a daily basis. So even there, the Jal Jeevan Mission extension, we are still debating at the national level as to what level of assistance central government should provide and what level of ownership the local government has to take up. So those are the issues which are still being debated. But right, I think sanitation aspirations will increase. People will switch over from single pit to twin pit. In any case, we are forcing them to shift right now. But after water is being available in the house, they will go to the septic tank based solutions, where water, probably 55 liters per capita per day, may not be sufficient. So even that thing we will have to think about, whether for flushing uses, potable quality of water should be used or something else needs to be worked out. So those are policy implications which are still being debated.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, for your detailed presentation and the answer provided. I'm Saifur Rahman from the Department of Public Health Engineering, Bangladesh. Actually, we want to know the secret behind the magic. I mean, since how so quickly India did this, actually. Maybe we will be having separate discussion to know that. My quick question will be, we are now running after safely managed water and safely managed sanitation. What is the present statistics for India about the safely managed water supply and safely managed sanitation? Because you have provided the statistics that 81% population now covered by piped water supply. But how about safely managed water supply?
Okay.
Is it all safely managed? That was one question. And what is the percentage of, open defecation right now in India? Third question, what is the relation between the Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation and Public Health Engineering Department in India? Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, thank you. So I think I'll answer the last question first. Drinking water and sanitation department is a central government department. Drinking water and sanitation is not the subject allotted to the central government. That's a very interesting thing. WASH is not the central subject. It's a subject of the state government, provinces. So this department has been set up to provide the policy guidelines, technical assistance and resources to kickstart the entire ecosystem at the local level, so that WASH services are provided in the villages. So therefore, drinking water and sanitation department does not have any connection with any other public health engineering department. However, at the state level, since state level has public health engineering departments, and they also have local self-government governing departments. So there are two departments, and these are actual real coordination issues in India, where you have local self-government department is separate from public health engineering department. So in our design of this scheme, you would have noted we wanted to do things very fast, and therefore Government of India allowed the state government to choose which department will implement the project, and most of the departments have utilized public health engineering department, and therefore it became a departmental implementation cycle. So though the intention was to involve the community and implement the program through the community and local self-government, actually in practice what happened was public health engineering department started contracting out, and it became a contractor and engineering department driven scheme. And thereafter now we are shifting that these assets are being transferred to the local self-government, and then community participation is being thought about. So there has been a lapse in terms of not taking on board the communities from initial point as far as drinking water supply is concerned. But sanitation was completely different. Sanitation, we did not involve the public health engineering departments. We always involved only the local self-government department and tried to implement solutions which were not actually engineering driven. And therefore Swachh Bharat mission was actually became a community driven program, behavior change program, and succeeded also. Jal Jeevan Mission, it became a department oriented program. Therefore the pace of implementation was quite impressive. 81% of the households getting water connection in short period of 6 years is not a mean achievement in terms of number of houses. So the engineering department did a good job. However, for sustainability of these piped water supply schemes, now we have to get involved of the local self-government, transfer the assets to them, and ensure that they collect the user charges. Departments typically are not in a position to collect the user charges. User charges will be collected by the elected representatives of the local government, which is providing the local service. That is the principle on which we are now moving forward. Now coming back to what is the level of actual satisfaction. So we do conduct the independent third-party evaluations. The figure ranges out of the 81% which have been provided connections, around 86% of 81% houses do get water. Almost around 14 to 16% is the deviation where we claim that water connection has been provided, but water is not reaching those houses. That is not reaching those houses because works are still under progress. Even when the works are completed, operation and maintenance will also cause a problem. So there is always a lag in terms of what is being claimed by the government on the dashboard and what actually is this level of service which the villagers are getting. For this purpose, joint monitoring program of the WHO and UNICEF, they also collect lot of data from various other sources, not only from government source, but other sources. And this year, they have also come out, and their indication is, as far as water is concerned, around 76% of the households, and sanitation, they are saying around 87 or 87% of the people are practicing safe sanitation practices. So around 13% gap still is there, and this gap worryingly has increased. Actually, India was doing much better in sanitation way back in 22. Now in 24 report, there is a slippage of around 2 to 3% numbers.
Thank you. Shri Minister, thank you very much for the presentation. I'm Mike Fisher at UNC. And I just had a quick question about what's been accomplished with the test kits. I mean, just the scale of that is impressive. I mean, I don't know of any example of sort of citizen community science at that scale. And I guess I'm curious about the big challenges and drivers of success for application of that monitoring for the Jal Jeevan mission, but also what the future might look like if you have citizen community engaged testing at that scale, thinking about environmental health monitoring broadly? Thank you.
Yeah, I think water quality testing setup, which I briefly mentioned in my presentation, was a very important aspect for us because we wanted people to understand what are different parameters which affect human health. And therefore, 13 parameters were chosen, based on which we conducted national level hackathons, and field testing kits were designed. And these field testing kits were sent out to almost more than 500,000 houses. 500,000 houses in the 500,000 villages in the entire country, and 2.5 million women were trained to utilize these field testing kits, and their data, once they read the data, has to be fed again on the platform, which can be seen by anybody in their own villages. So once this system is started working, I think testing of water will become a norm. Number one. Number two, it will also inculcate a lot of scientific temper in terms of knowing what kind of quality of water is needed for drinking purposes. Because otherwise, in India and most of our South Asia, whatever water is used for agriculture or for animals, the same kind of water is also used by the human beings. So that change slowly is happening, and this change is also getting increased by sale of bottled water by the private sector. So now when you go to the villages, you will find that a lot of people are consuming bottled water also. So awareness of what is potable for human consumption is increasing because of the testing protocols that we have faced. The second aspect which you asked me is very important. Going forward, challenges are still huge. Though huge amount of implementation has already taken place. Numbers are very impressive because India's size is impressive. So numbers, anybody nobody can match because nobody has that much of population. That apart, going forward, keeping them sustainable at the village level is going to be a very tricky situation. The only silver linings which I see, one is political commitment, the resources being provided by both the governments, the union and the provincial level, and third is the technology. Use of technology is going to probably help us in ensuring that local service standards are developed at local level service delivery happens, and local ecosystem develops where people get engaged in providing these services on remunerative basis. Now, remuneration will happen if user charges are collected and they have sufficient resources available to run these services. That is our vision. I hope that will succeed in coming days. Once India succeeds, probably the world will be able to show good picture at the global level. Thank you.
Secretary, thank you very much for the presentation, and I will echo the other participants who spoke before me in congratulating you. This is a program that shows the importance of leadership, clear from the top, structure, as you have in a very complex political and institutional setup, but also innovation. So congratulations for that. I have a question about sustainability. You almost responded to the question, and it's the following. What is your vision on what will happen as technical solutions become more expensive because you will move from the different configurations of latrines to septic tanks to fecal sludge treatment, etc., 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 which will be more expensive. And eventually, at some point, the federal government and provincial government or state government resources will eventually may not be enough to cover the O&M costs of the maintenance and eventually replacement of some of the systems. And I also noted, if I understood you correctly, that the fees that you are proposing to charge for operation and maintenance are limited to 1/3 of the cost? Is that?
See, that is our estimate, that the paying capacity probably will allow us to charge only 1/3, but this charge will be done by the local self-government. They will fix the level of user charges they want to fix. For example, if a Gram Panchayat is providing an excellent service 24/7 water supply, then they will charge higher amount of user charges. Or there are states in India, provinces in India, for example, Kerala, Goa, they have gone to the household level metering. So drinking water is being measured in each household in 2 of our provinces. So increasingly we will go towards measurement of the water at the bulk level. There is an aspiration that in next 2 years' time, every village we should be able to measure bulk water being used for drinking purposes, and then encourage them to utilize the household level measurement. Once household level measurement happens, I think people will start being more efficient towards use of the water.
So there is a vision to move
Yes.
towards recovery of the O&M costs.
Yes.
That was my question. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
Thank you.
I think the last, thank you very much, Mr. Secretariat. I'm from Ethiopia working for UNICEF. My ex-boss, Clarissa, over here. During her time, I mean, I had a privilege to come to India and I mean, to learn a lot. I was in West Bengal. I don't know right now, but during that time, I mean, the sanitation coverage in West Bengal, I mean, it was very up. I think it was 2009, if I don't, no, it was 2009, I think, yeah. My question now, within this 11 year, the impact, the disease pattern of India, as we have said, communicable disease, among that is a diarrhea, right? So clinically, how did your research measure this one? The second one, you've got to have, I mean, a good policy. The interpretation of that policy is a natural phenomenon. Human being is very difficult, right, to bring, I mean, a behavioral change. Is there any enforcement mechanism? The other things, I mean, Ethiopia, most UNICEF, I mean, procured from India, Indian Mark II. Is it still available while we are talking about CR wash?
India Mark II, I think, is still available, but in government programs we are not using it, but India Mark II will be available within the country also, because clearly when we are saying that 55 liters per capita per day will be provided, that means other uses of water will be there in villages. So I think India Mark II hand pump availability will continue for some time, and its usage in various areas will be there. As far as the health impacts are concerned, I think there are studies now, independent studies which have been done for Swachh Bharat mission, and they show a remarkable decrease in diarrheal death cases. And on their own, if we take only health benefits, Swachh Bharat mission has already recovered the cost incurred by Government of India. So from that perspective, I think any investment on wash services is going to be beneficial to the country as a whole. Maybe central government is not getting that much of resources, but economy as a whole is getting benefited. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. This concludes today's Spotlight series. There's a coffee break now, and we haven't heard the last from Shri Secretary Meena. He will be featured tomorrow on the role of the state plenary, so please come along and we'll hear more. So thank you.